And all of you are welcome to my YouTube channel, that is Math Success Point, and you are getting the more and more benefits through my videos. Today we will discuss some special questions along with the questions of your NCERT book of Algebra 10.3 related with the scalar product of two vectors. Let me discuss the important questions which generally asked in the examination. It is one question, that is find the value of p. You will have to find out the value of p. But in two cases you will have to find out the value of p. What will be the two cases? P for which the vector, these are the two vectors, vector A and vector B. They will perpendicular to each other, first case. They will parallel to each other. Generally the student gets confusion in these two conditions. Let me clear these two conditions. First of all, let me take, first of all, vector if vector A is perpendicular, this is the perpendicular symbol, vector A is perpendicular to B vector, okay? Then what will happen? All of you know by the scalar product, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product will be equal to 0. Dot product of two vectors will be equal to 0. Okay, let me substitute the value of A. First of all, A 3i plus 2j plus 9k. And the value of dot product with the value of b I plus bj and plus 3k. It will be equal to 0. You must have to keep in mind one thing, while you are getting the dot product of two vectors, then you get the multiplication of the scalar component, corresponding scalar components only you will have to take. 3 with I component in the second bracket. 3 into 1. Okay, here 2 and p, it will be p, 2 and p, plus 9 and 3, it will be equal to 0. Because I dot I, j dot j, k dot k, it will be equal to 1. I dot j, because I dot j, whenever theta will be perpendicular 90 degree, then only you can cos the value of cos 90, it will be equal to 0. That is why dot product will be equal to 0. Okay, this thing you must have to keep in mind, and for more detail you can see my previous videos. 3 plus 2p and plus 27, it will be equal to 0. My dear student, 3 plus 27, that will be 30, and let me take this 30 from left side to right side. P will be equal to minus 30 by 2, that is minus 15. This is the value of p whenever both the vectors will be perpendicular. In place of p, if you will write minus 15, then only these two vectors, this one and this one, will be perpendicular to each other. Okay, this thing you must have to keep in mind. How you can say that these two vectors, vector A and B, will be parallel? Let me find out the value of p. I will tell you the important things. Second case, this was the first case. Let me take the second case. Second case is when vector A is parallel to vector B. Then what will be the condition? If vector A will be parallel to vector B. See, if both the vectors are parallel as well as collinear, we will have to write the same thing. Okay, I told you earlier in my previous videos that vector A may be one time of vector B, 2 times of vector B. These will be parallel, but the magnitude may be different. Okay, magnitude may be different. Vector will be parallel, but magnitude may be different. The magnitude of A, that is suppose 2, magnitude of B, that will be 4. That is why it will be equal to twice more. That is why you must have to see. In this case, when these are parallel, then let me write, if these two vectors are parallel, then if these are parallel, then you will write A will be equal to lambda B. Same thing you will have to write when two vectors are collinear. Very important question. In one question, there are the two questions. The value of vector A you will write 3i plus 2j and plus 9k. It will be equal to lambda vector B I plus pj plus 3k. Okay, 3i plus 2j plus 9k. It will be equal to lambda I plus lambda pj plus lambda 3 lambda k. My dear student, these two vectors will be equal. I told you that in the definition of the equal vectors, vectors will be equal if they have the same magnitude as well as the same direction. But here you will have to see both the vectors will be equal if their corresponding components are same. If their corresponding components are same, corresponding components, because in case of are same, then vectors will be what? 3 will be equal to lambda. That is why the value of lambda you got 3. Okay? But we want the value of p. 2, the value of j in the left side. And what will be in the right side? That will be lambda p. That is why p will be equal to 2 by lambda. Here itself you may get the value of it. Substitute the value of lambda and you will get p, the value of p. Okay, let me take here also 9 is equal to 3 lambda. 3 will be equal to lambda. Okay, now you see, मैं यहीं पर लिख देता हूँ. Let me write it here itself. P is equal to how much? 2 by lambda. 2 by lambda. And 2 by 3. Lambda is 3. If P will be equal to 2 by 3, then only in place of P, if you will write 2 by 3, then only the vectors will be parallel. Otherwise, the vectors will not be parallel. This thing you must have to keep in mind. Okay? That is why the vectors are parallel. So, vectors are parallel. That is why you can see. Let me take one more question of the similar kind. Very, very important questions I am just discussing with you, because I feel that these questions are important and students lacking behind while they prepare the NCERT book. Okay? They prepare nicely the questions from the NCERT book, but some additional questions will be required. Questions will be almost same, but if clearly the question will be there, then only it will be beneficial for you. Let me take one more question. Question number 2, additional question. Let vector A and vector B. These are the vectors. You see, you must have to see the vectors. And my dear student, it is a very, very important thing we are discussing, and you must have to keep in mind. Okay, you must have to see the things. Let me write vector A and B, two vectors. These are the two vectors of the same magnitude. Magnitude is also same. Magnitude is same magnitude. Okay, such that the angle, I am discussing the very important angle between them. I am writing the question so that you will understand the question clearly. Between them is 60 degrees. Because if the question, language of the question is in front of you, then you may understand, you can find out the solution easily. Then you will have to find out both the vectors, magnitude of vector A and magnitude of vector B. These are essential questions. Let me see the solution. Solution of this question. Okay, my dear student, that is why you see here clearly. Here it is given. A and B, these are the two vectors having the same magnitude. My dear student, magnitude of A will be equal to magnitude of B. It is given thing. That is the given thing. Angle theta is equal to 60 degree. Let me write the things which are given. 60 degree. And one more thing it is given. Vector dot product of both the vectors, that is 8. What you will use? Using the definition of dot product, that is cos theta. Dot product of two vectors divided by their magnitude. Most important thing I am discussing, my dear student, cos theta, cos 60 degree. A dot B, dot product of two vectors, that is A. Magnitude of A is equal to magnitude of B. In place of B, you will have to write magnitude of A, my dear student, so that you will understand. Okay? That is why cos 60 degree, that is 1 upon 2, you know. You have studied in class 10, trigonometric table. Okay? 8. And it will be magnitude of A square. My dear student, cross multiplication you can take, it will be 16. And 16 means, what does it mean? You take, you will say that it is plus minus, but magnitude always that is positive. Okay? That is why it is equal to what? Magnitude of B. The magnitude of A and B, it is clear to all of you. Very important question I am discussing with you, my dear student. Let me take one more question, which generally actually it is required. Not only here in the CBSE examination, these questions are important for your competitive examination as well. I will discuss some questions from the NCERT book, but let me take first of all these questions, okay? Because these are very, very important questions. And you will see these questions actually I have collected from the sample papers, okay? And these are most essential, most important questions I have collected. This is the question. If vector A, B and C, you see these are the vectors, B, 3 vectors, my dear students. These are the 3 vectors of magnitude, that is 3, 4 and 5. These are the magnitude of these 3 vectors respectively. If one more thing is given, each vector 1 is perpendicular. You see how much it is important. Perpendicular. Each vector is perpendicular to the other 2 vectors. Most important question. Other 2 vectors. Okay? Prove that. You will have to prove that vector A plus vector B plus vector C, it will be equal to 5 root 2. 5 root 2. You see how it is important, this question. Most important question. Let me take the solution. First of all, you see the given things. Magnitude of A will be equal to, that is 3. Magnitude of B, that is how much? 4. And magnitude of C, that is equal to 5. Magnitude of C, that is 5. My dear student, you must have to concentrate. Okay? I am taking the very important case. This is the first case. If each vector is perpendicular, each vector is perpendicular to the sum of the other two vectors. Means what does it mean? Perpendicular to B and C. देखिए, vector A is perpendicular to B and C. Each vector is perpendicular to the sum of other 2. Okay? चलिए मैं इनकी एक कॉलम बना देता हूं. Vector B is perpendicular to vector C plus A. Another vector C is perpendicular to vector A plus vector B. These things are given. If these 2 vectors are perpendicular, then what will happen? A dot B plus C vector. Okay? It will be equal to 0. So, okay, you multiply with vector A inside the bracket, dot product of A and B plus dot product of A and C. It will be equal to 0 and equation number 1, suppose. B means vector B dot product with C plus A. It will be equal to 0. Dot product will be 0. My dear student, it is very simple. That is why you see carefully. That is equation number 2. Let me take. Just to make it easy. You concentrate over here. C is perpendicular to this one means dot product of C will be equal to 0. Then what will happen? Dot product of A and C plus dot product of C and B, it will be equal to 0. It is equation number 1. Let me add these three equations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Left hand side you add in the left hand side, right hand side you add in the right hand side, or in the right hand side that is 0, this right hand side will be 0. Okay, देखिए, but one thing you must have to keep in mind, dot product is completed. This thing I will use dot product of AB will be equal to dot product of BA, and C dot product of CA will be equal to dot product of AC. Like that. Okay? Then what will happen? I am just going to add AB dot product of AB BA. ये भी AB हो जाएगा. तो कितना हो गया? How much it will be? 2 dot product of AB. Similarly AC BC देख लीजिए, BC ये है, एक CB यहाँ पे, तो BC हो जाएगा 2 BC plus 2 CA. Similarly CA twice this will be common. You take it out, 0 by 2 is 0. Dot product of AB plus dot product of BC. See, in the sequence you write dot product of CA. It will be equal to 0, my dear student. That is equation number 4. You got its value is 0. Its result, important result, I discussed in my previous video. That is why you see carefully how it is important. These things you must have to keep in mind. Okay? Let me take. I will use this thing. I will take one more condition. I am just going to remove it so that I will get the space. My dear students, using when I told you the definition of the dot product in my previous videos, I discussed one thing. What the thing I have discussed? Whenever the angle between two vectors, that is 0 degree. Cos 0, that is 1. Okay? That is why we got this thing. You will have to keep in mind. Dot product of the same vector, it will be equal to its square. Its square. This thing I will use. That is why, because we want to get the value of it. इसकी वैल्यू निकालना चाहते तो इसी को ले लीजिए ना. C vector. Its square will be equal to what? Same thing. वेक्टर A प्लस वेक्टर B प्लस वेक्टर C. माय डियर स्टूडेंट, इस चीज को मैं कई बार डिस्कस कर चुका, तो इसलिए मैं थोड़ा सा इसको डायरेक्ट लिखूंगा. डायरेक्ट वैल्यू. इफ यू विल गेट इट्स वैल्यू प्रोडक्ट, देन यू विल गेट व्हाट? डॉट प्रोडक्ट ऑफ A स्क्वायर प्लस डॉट मींस magnitude of A square plus magnitude of B square plus magnitude of C square plus twice magnitude of A dot product of AB plus dot product of BC and dot product of CA. This thing you will get. My dear student, I told you its value. You will have to find out. Tell me the value of magnitude of A. That is 3. इसलिए मैंने रोक दिया था. B 4 square और C 5 square plus twice into, और its value that is 0 from equation number 4. Already we got it 0. मैं लिख देता हूं यहां पर from 4. That will be 0. It is 9 plus 16 and plus 25. You see, it will be 49. 49. Let me remove this thing. My dear student, you must have to see this thing. 9 plus 16 plus 25. Okay? Its value will be that will be 50. 50. Its value, it will be root 50. Root 50 means 25 into 2, that will be 5 root. But you see, we got its value. Magnitude of A plus B plus C, that magnitude of The sum of the three vectors will be equal to 5, 2. It is a very important question. I have discussed with you. Okay, let me take very, very important question which will play the very vital role to find out the solution. Let me take, that is also the additional question I am taking, and you must have to keep in mind, my dear student. Let me take this question. Question is very, very important. That will be, I think, 4 or 5 question. Number. Find the value of x. Find the value of x. Find the value of x. The value of x you will have to find out for which the angle between the vectors. Angle between the vectors. What vectors? Vector A. Vector A. Let me write it here. Vector A here. Vector A, that is 2x square I. Most important question I have collected. 4x. Several times it asked in the examination. Different types of examination. And the value of vector B also you see. That will be 7i and minus 2j and plus xk is obtuse. Find the value of x for which the angle between these two vectors is obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. Most important question. How the angle may be obtuse? Let me draw the figure. If angle that is a little more than 90 degree, okay, then you will have to see. This is vector A, this is O, direction is from O2 towards the vector, and this is B. This angle will be obtuse angle. लेकिन बताना बहुत जरूरी है how it will be obtuse. Otherwise you will get confusion how we have got this thing. You will have to use definition of the dot product of two vectors by using cos theta will be equal to dot product of these two vectors divided by their magnitudes. Okay, but you see how it is obtuse. If the angle is up to 90, 0 to 90, it is what? 90 degree, that will be right angle triangle. Less than 90 degree, it will be the acute angle. And more than 90 degree, it will be the obtuse angle. Then how it is possible? Let me take 120 degree. That is more than 90 degree, cos 120. It will lie in the second quadrant. It will lie in the second quadrant. How it will lie in the second quadrant? Cos 90 plus 30 degree. See, I am just telling you how the angle will be obtuse. This is the rough work only. That will be minus sin 90 degree. Sorry, 30 degree. That will be minus 1 by 2, less than 0. Means cos 120 degree, that is less than 0. That is why this thing you must have to keep in mind. If the theta is obtuse, then the value of cos theta should be less than 0. The value of cos theta should be less than 0. If it is obtuse angle, theta is obtuse angle. Okay, let me take this thing. If theta is obtuse, मैंने प्रूव कर दिया भाई, theta is obtuse, then cos theta should be less than 0. Okay, then now write the value of cos theta, dot product of these two vectors. इस तरह के क्वेश्चन एग्जामिनेशन में पूछे जाते हैं माय डियर स्टूडेंट. यू मस्ट हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. को इन प्लेस ऑफ cos थीटा दैट इज लेस देन 0. क्या हो जाएगा भाई? 0 को क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई इधर कर दो ना, या मल्टीप्लाई कर दो दोनों साइड में, बिकॉज इट इज द इनइक्वालिटी सिंबल. दोनों साइड में मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ ए मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ बी से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए. व्हाट यू विल गेट? लेस देन 0. If dot product of two vectors is less than 0, then theta will be obtuse angle. Okay, then you write the value of A and B. मैंने इसमें डिटेल बताया आप लोगों को I plus 4xj and plus k. डिटेल में बता so that you will understand the question. 7i minus 2j 2j and plus xk. My dear student, only you will have to multiply the scalar components less than 0. Less than 0. Component of 5, 14, that will be 14. 2 into 7, x square. Okay, then plus how much? 4x is here, here it is minus 2, that is why it will be minus 8x. Minus 8x. Here it is 1, here it is x plus x, less than 0. My dear student, you see 14x square and minus 7x, less than 0. What will be factorization? X, 7x I have taken, 2x minus 1, less than 0. You got the factorization, there will be two values of x. One will be 0, another will be x, that is what? 1 by 2. That is why its interval you will take x will be greater than 0, less than 1 by 2. Okay, this thing you must have to write, you must have to keep in mind its value. Therefore, hence I will write theta is obtuse. थीटा इज ऑब्ट्यूज कब होगा ऑब्ट्यूज? यहां देखिए थीटा इज ऑब्ट्यूज इफ एक्स लाइज, एक्स कहां पे लाई करेगा भाई? बिटवीन 0 एंड 1/2. मैंने ओपन इंटरवल लिखा भाई, ओपन इंटरवल क्लास 11 की वीडियो उठा करके देख लीजिए सेट में. ओपन इंटरवल, क्लोज इंटरवल, एवरीथिंग आई हैव डिस्कस इन डिटेल. ओके, दिस इज द ओपन इंटरवल. ओपन इंटरवल का मतलब होता है 0 and 1/2 will not be included. Okay, rest values between 0 and 1/2 will be there. If the value of x will be in between 0 to 1/2, then theta angle will be obtuse. How much it is the important question I have discussed with you. Okay, thank you to all of you.